Hey everybody, welcome back to AA Homestead. My name's Andrew. Today we're going to show you how you clean your wood stove and the pipe that goes out the chimney. You can obviously call somebody to come do it and they'll do a great job, but if you're like me and you got to clean it a couple times a year, it makes sense to buy your own equipment, and it's pretty easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and get into just how we go about doing that. First thing I'm going to grab is I have a couple of Phillips screwdrivers, a couple different lengths in the event that I need to get into a tighter spot to take out the pipe. I have my brush that's going to go up the pipe, and then I just have my bundle of the sticks that they screw in together, and they're going to go all the way up the top. We are going to clean this from inside the house. There's obviously some that you need to go on the roof to clean. This is not one of those. I personally would not be doing it if I had to go on the roof because I'm not going to put a ladder on my roof to get to the chimney. It's a little sketchy, and I watched the guy do it, and it's not for me. So luckily I can do it all from inside the house, and that's just going to be to take that stuff off. The first thing you're going to want to do before you start getting into the cleaning is I personally like to clean the glass because we are going to vacuum out all of the ash. Usually I scoop it. A lot of people have the bucket and the shovel, and we do the same, but we're going to use the ash to clean the window before we get into it. That way we don't have to track it down, or we didn't actually accidentally bring it outside and then have to wait to do it. I like to do it all at once. So let's go ahead and get into the glass, and then we're going to go past that. Something I do when I get ready to clean the glass, I've got some paper towel. I have 3 of them. They're just a little bit damp, just enough to hold the ash on the paper towel, and then a dry one, of course. So I just take this, and then I'll go right inside the fireplace here, and then you can see I get quite a bit on here. We're just going to continue to do this, and I'm going to tap it all around all the dark spots. Once we get it pretty full or covered, then we'll start cleaning it. But this is pretty nasty. It hasn't been cleaned in a few days. But using the ash, it goes pretty quick. It's better to clean every day if you can, but it's also not a big deal. So now that we got ash all around, we'll go ahead and start wiping it. You can already see, you can see that spot there, and I'm not putting much pressure down. Now it's going to take quite a bit simply because of how dirty it is, but you can already see that's the result of me just putting that ash on there and then using very little pressure to get all of that right off of the glass. It's pretty easy. We're just going to keep going. And once I get my paper towel starts looking like that, maybe I need to flip it inside out. Start with a new side. We'll grab a little bit more ash for these tough spots. And again, you might end up dropping some on the ground. I don't know about you, but for me, that's okay as long as it's not hot. Go ahead and keep cleaning. You can see it's not taking me too long to get the majority off. There is some stubborn stuff left. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll get the rest of this cleaned up. So once I get to where I want it, I can take one of my fresh ones and just kind of clean this like so. I won't spend too much time doing it just because I don't want to bore you. This will be good enough for this cleaning, but obviously you can get it perfect. And then take your dry one, just try and clean that up. So for the sake of the video, we'll call that good, but I will go ahead and finish that up, and that way we can move on to the next step. Alright, you can see that the glass is perfectly clean now. I mean, there's probably some streaks back there, but it's not too bad. The orange that is around the glass, that is from the previous owner. I believe it's some sort of heat caulk because I assume they had to replace the glass. They did have kids, so that's just my assumption. As someday I would like to get this cleaned up and get a new one put on, but for now it works perfect for us. You can see the buildup of ash inside. That's not a big deal right now. We are going to focus on the pipe, and then once we get the pipe clear for the chimney, we'll come back and visit all this. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and take my little magnet thermometer off. I'm going to put that down here. Actually, I'll just get that right out of the way. I've got a couple different ones on here. This one's actually attached by a piece of wire, which is no big deal, but the way I see it is if this temperature is lower than this temperature, I'm doing okay. If this one's hotter than this one, I have a problem. So I obviously made sure to check to make sure they read correct or versus each other. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking all of this piping off, which is just undoing the screws. There's 3 screws that go around in each section, and we're going to go ahead and take those out. See, there's another screw down here somewhere. There's 3. Okay, I guess there's 2 there. All right, we got these 2 up here. 3 up here. All of the screws are taken out, and I have 3 sections. So the fun part is trying to get this out. I am going to do my best. It's a little hard because it is kind of, I wouldn't say pressure fit, but pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this thing to move. Let's see if I can. All right, I got that one. Okay, yep, there we go. Quite a bit of buildup in there, so I'm glad I did it. Get that laid down. Let's see. Okay, get this piece taken off. So my goal is to try not to make a mess here. So now that I have these pieces off, I'm going to go ahead and just take them right outside. Now it is raining, so I'm going to put them on the porch for now. The pipe is off, so what's next? Well, obviously you need the brush, which you've already bought most likely, or at least at this point, it's time to go buy your brush. So our pipe is metal, and if I measure the inside diameter of the pipe, it is basically 6 inches. It could be maybe 6 1/16. So I have a 6-inch poly brush. Let me grab it real quick. See the top of my head there. And there we go. So this is the brush that I bought. It's a 6-inch poly round, just a chimney cleaning brush. I got it at the old Menards there. Looks just like this. So it seems to be quite a debate out there whether or not you should go with a larger brush or the same size. I would just go the exact same size, and on the metal, that's why I went with the poly. So we're gonna go ahead and get these sticks out of the rubber bands and start getting this brush going up to the top. Before I put these sticks together and start to get that brush up there, I got a tarp. I'm just gonna put it over this. I'm not too concerned about it getting on the floor. We're gonna vacuum it up. It is kind of some nasty stuff though, so let's go ahead, get this covered up. I got a tarp right here. Doesn't have to be great. I just don't need more of that creosote going into the hole for the wood stove there. So that's kind of why I do it. So let's go ahead and grab these sticks. And let's get started with the fun part of putting them together. So they're all the same. It's not super important. Just got to make sure we get it screwed in. I personally use gloves just because, like I said, this stuff can be pretty nasty. Probably wouldn't hurt to wear some sort of mask as well. I guess I probably should take my own advice. And I'm going to focus on getting all the way up there first. Once I get to the top, then I'll really start trying to scrub my way back down. I'm going to go ahead and get all these connected. We'll get up to the top. That way I won't bore you guys with connecting all of these. Good news, I've reached the top. You want to be careful when you're going up, especially the first time you do this. You don't want to go with too much force that you hit the top of the chimney. That could cause a problem, and then you do have to go up there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start brushing once I get to the top, and I'll try to show you everything that's fallen down. There's quite a bit that's come down just while I was going in the upward motion to get to the top. So let's see how much stuff comes out. I'm gonna go ahead and start brushing. You can see I'm going to get to right there. That is the top. So, I'll show you all this stuff that's coming down here. I'm going to try and stand out of the way. You'll definitely be able to hear it. You could probably see a ton of it just coming down. Now, it's also important that you be careful with your eyes, so maybe you want to wear some sort of a safety glass. I'm not sure. So alright, we're going to keep doing this and work our way back down. We're going to go ahead and keep brushing all that. We're going to work our way back down. You could go bottom to top, top to bottom. I've done bottom to top. It's all the same. I was just trying to get it up there and then work my way back down. So I'm going to finish up, and then I'll start disconnecting my pieces and work my way back down. I am always thankful when I see this brush come back out, because I am done cleaning. That's a lot of work. Luckily, it's not like a 2-story, so it's not a 2.5-story chimney. I do have one extra pole. I'm only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. I don't know the exact length. I want to say they're about 4 feet, so I'm only going up about 24 feet. And yeah, that's enough for me. I'm not trying to go any farther than that. I'm going to bring these outside with the other pipes that we've already taken off of the wood stove, and because I'm going to use these to clean out some of those pipes as well. So let's get these out. They're a little dirty. We'll get them out of the house. Quick show you all of the stuff that came out. You can see there's some of it on the tarp, but the majority of it falls down there, which, like I said, no big deal. We'll vacuum it up, but you can see just how much came out. I'm not sure if I can actually show you up the pipe. We could try. Not a great view. It's really hard to do, but you can see that it's pretty clean in terms of all the chunks off the side. Sorry I can't show you anything better than that. Go ahead and get this tarp off of here now. I'm going to lift it towards the back so everything falls off back there where it's already a mess. Again, just be cautious of your eyes. You don't want to get any of this stuff in your eyes. And I wear gloves again because it's pretty nasty. So I'm going to go ahead and get this outside right now too. The vacuum that I have for doing this is the Vac Master. I think I got it from Tractor Supply. It's just an ash vacuum specific to doing what we're doing. I use it for the creosote and all that stuff. So yeah, that works pretty good. I had a different one. Either this one's from Menards or I don't know which way. One of them's from Tractor Supply, one's from Menards. The other one, the bag inside ripped like day one and it was junk, so we took it back and went to the other store and got this one. So you can see in here that it is pretty filthy. This is the top of the wood stove. So I'm going to take the vacuum, go down in there, and I'm going to go ahead and get all of that out. Inside's all cleaned out, so now that mess that you saw behind, I'm going to go ahead and start vacuuming all the way around here, and then we're going to move to the front and vacuum out the interior of the wood stove. Got the wood stove all vacuumed out. You can see obviously it's going to be black. We have a lot of fires in there, that's normal. So the whole point was just to get the ash out. You could see I've found some bigger pieces of wood. It's no big deal. We're just going to go ahead and throw those right back into the box there. And now there's a little bit of left over there, which really bothers me because I spent all this time cleaning, so I'll just finish that real quick. Alright, now we're ready to get everything back assembled, but first we got to go outside and clean those other pipes. I got everything out here set up on the tarp, ready to go. I still have my brush attached to one of these sticks, and I do have to take this off, which isn't too bad. I wonder if I could try to, maybe I could show you kind of all the buildup that's gathered in here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. You can kind of see it. See it moving around a little bit. So one thing that you need to pay attention to, you can listen to, this stuff will fall down through the pipe obviously, and you can hear it. And so like last night, I could hear it coming down when the draft was open up, and at that point I knew it was time to clean this out. So because this is all right here, I'm just going to dump it right into the trash and then come back and we're going to start scrubbing all of this. There might be a better way to clean like these elbows, but I just use this same brush. It doesn't have to be perfect. So this is pretty filthy. I'm wondering if I could kind of show you this. Let me go ahead and take a quick shot with my phone and then I'll add that in. This gives you a pretty good idea of what it looked like, especially the pipe going all the way up and out. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see that because I didn't film it prior to, but this is what it looks like. We're going to clean it up and we'll show you the end. Here's the after. I didn't spend too much time. It's pretty cold out and it's good enough for me. I'm going to have to do this again anyway, so let's go ahead and send it with what we got here. We're just going to go ahead, start cleaning. You want to make sure that you got your flap open, at least I do. That way a lot of it goes down. Once I get down towards that center, I'll turn the flap so I could try to clean it. Next thing I'm going to do, clean up these elbow pieces. Again, they're not going to be perfect. Oh, it's a little better. We'll see if we can clean that up a little bit. You can see it's quite a bit better. It's not perfect, but that'll work. This is the pile that I got. You can see it's quite a bit that came out of those bottom pipes. So we're gonna go ahead, go get these pipes back installed and get a fire started. It's getting pretty cold in there. Got everything back inside. My least favorite part, trying to put this back together. It's always easier taking it apart, but we're gonna try and make this work. So let's start by putting that in there. Let's see, we're gonna have to try and get this up in there. Before you put this up, you have your flue there. Make sure that it's wide open. So now I know the position and I can check and see what's going on. Personally, I think it was installed wrong because I can't shut it off, but I can go like half off, and then right there in the middle. So we're gonna go ahead and get that put back up along with this piece, where hopefully this will go somewhat smooth. There we go. Okay. Let's get that. Well, I kind of got that connected. But now I got to figure this part out. Okay. Probably get one screw in here. Going to try and put one into each of these until I make sure I got this one lined up. All right, all the screws are in. So that's how you go ahead and clean your wood stove inside your house or wherever you have it. It's pretty easy as long as it's the same setup as mine. I'm not sure how to do the ones from above, but that's how I do this one. It works pretty good, and then you save $150, $200 every time you have to do it. We would have to have somebody come out a couple times a year just because of how much we burn. The reason you do have creosote buildup is the amount of moisture in your wood and what kind of wood you're burning. So you're going to want to make sure that you're using the correct moisture and the correct wood. It's just a byproduct of burning wood, and that's normal. That's why you should have it done usually every year if you use your fireplace a lot or your wood stove a lot. So if you learned anything from this, consider subscribing, hit the like button, share with somebody you know that might want to do this. And it's pretty easy. I got all the stuff for pretty cheap. I might have like 50 bucks wrapped up into all the equipment to do this, minus the vacuum was around 50, so maybe 100, which is about half of what it is to have somebody clean just one time. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.